Ever feel like your online connections are missing something? You scroll through hundreds of profiles, chat for hours, maybe even video call late into the night, and yet something doesn't click. It's as if your heart knows the difference between a glowing screen and a warm human presence. In a world that promised endless connection, why do so many of us still feel profoundly alone? Why does love, real, deep, messy love, seem harder to find than ever, despite living in the most connected era in history? If you've ever been ghosted after weeks of texting, felt chemistry online that vanished the moment you met in person, or wondered why your DMs feel like an endless void of small talk, you're not alone. And today, we're going to uncover the uncomfortable truth. Digital hearts rarely fully connect. And the reason isn't just bad luck. It's built into how technology shapes the way we meet, flirt, and fall in love. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Decode Love if you want more honest, thought-provoking conversations about dating, relationships, and what it really takes to build meaningful connection in the modern world. Now, let's pull back the curtain. We were promised that technology would bring us closer. Dating apps promised love at first swipe. Social media gave us endless access to potential partners. Messaging apps let us stay in touch anytime, anywhere. On paper, this sounds like a love revolution. But here's the paradox. The more options we have, the less connected we often feel. Psychologists call this the paradox of choice. When we have too many possibilities, we start to view people like products. We swipe, we scroll, we compare. Instead of investing deeply in one connection, our brains get addicted to the thrill of what's next. We wonder, could there be someone better just one swipe away? That question alone creates distance. Why fully open up to the person in front of us if we might find someone who checks even more boxes tomorrow? And this abundance doesn't just make us picky, it makes us fearful. Fearful of settling. Fearful of missing out. Fearful of rejection when there's always another person waiting online. So, we keep things shallow, safe, and surface level. Conversations stay playful but rarely become vulnerable. We flirt, but we don't risk. Because risking means investing. And investing means we might get hurt. Another reason digital hearts rarely connect? We're falling in love with curated versions of people, not their full selves. Online, everyone can be their own PR manager. We choose the perfect photo, the wittiest caption, the most flattering angles. We reveal just enough to seem interesting, but not enough to seem messy. And when two perfectly polished avatars meet, what happens? Real life shows up, with all its flaws, insecurities, and contradictions. Think about the last time you started talking to someone online. Maybe their profile was full of stunning photos, clever jokes, and just enough vulnerability to feel authentic. You built a picture in your mind. Maybe even started imagining what your life together could look like. But then you met, and something felt off. It's not always that the person was lying. It's that we can't help but fill in the blanks with what we want to believe. We project. We idealize. And no real human can compete with the fantasy we've built from a carefully edited feed. Even when we're aware of this, another problem sneaks in. Text can't capture the full language of love. Human connection isn't just about words. It's about tone, touch, micro-expressions, energy. The subtle cues our brains evolved to read over thousands of years. But when we rely on texting, emojis, or even video calls, so much gets lost. How many times have you misread a message? Thought someone was angry when they were joking? Felt rejected because a reply took too long? Text flattens emotion. It leaves space for our insecurities to fill in the blanks. Meanwhile, our nervous systems crave presence, a look, a smile, the rhythm of shared silence. Without it, even long digital conversations can feel strangely hollow. Then there's the dopamine trap. Apps are designed to keep us hooked, not to help us connect. Every swipe, like, and notification gives our brains a tiny hit of pleasure. We start to crave the chase more than the catch. The excitement of a new match or flirty DM can feel intoxicating, sometimes even more than the slow, steady work of building intimacy. So we chase novelty instead of depth. We mistake the rush of possibility for the warmth of connection. And here's the harsh truth. The platforms we use don't actually want us to find lasting love. If we did, we'd stop using them. So, they're engineered to keep us searching, always almost finding but not quite. They know how to play with hope, curiosity, and loneliness just enough to keep us coming back for more. But maybe the biggest reason digital hearts don't fully connect is this. True intimacy requires vulnerability, and vulnerability feels riskier than ever. Online, rejection feels amplified. Ghosting has become normal. Sharing too much too soon can be met with silence, or worse, screenshots and judgment. So, we armor up. We keep things casual, breezy, non-committal. We flirt, but don't reveal our deeper fears or hopes. Yet love, real love, thrives on the very thing we avoid, showing up imperfect, uncertain, and open to hurt. You can't algorithm your way into being seen. You have to risk it. And risk feels terrifying when the culture tells us there's always someone else, some better match, just waiting if this doesn't work out. Still, it's not all hopeless. Technology can help us connect, but only if we use it differently. So how do we break free from the cycle and build something real? First, slow down. Instead of swiping endlessly, pick one person and go deeper. Ask real questions. Share real parts of yourself. Notice how they respond. Stop searching for perfection. Start searching for presence. Second, move from screen to real life sooner. Text can't replace shared energy. If you feel a spark, don't let it exist only in the digital world. Meet up. Take a walk. Share a meal. Let your nervous system feel the other person's presence. Third, embrace vulnerability. Yes, it's scary. Yes, you might get hurt. But the only way to create intimacy is to risk being truly known. That doesn't mean oversharing with strangers. It means letting walls down gradually with people who earn your trust. Fourth, audit your digital habits. Are you chasing the high of a new match instead of nurturing existing connections? Are you addicted to the fantasy of someone better always being out there? Reflect on whether the apps are serving your heart, or just your dopamine. Finally, remember that love is built, not found. Apps can introduce you to someone, but they can't create emotional safety, deep trust, or shared life moments. That's human work, and it's messy, slow, and beautiful. You might be wondering, so should I delete all my apps? Not necessarily. Technology isn't the enemy. It's a tool, one that can open doors, especially for people who might not meet otherwise. But if you're feeling lonely despite constant connection, it's worth asking, am I using these tools to truly connect, or just to distract myself from loneliness? Because here's the secret. Love has always been risky, vulnerable, and profoundly human. No amount of algorithms, swipes, or perfectly curated profiles can change that. Digital hearts often fail to fully connect not because love is dead, but because we've started to believe it can be optimized like a playlist or an online cart. It can't. Love demands presence. It demands courage. It demands stepping out from behind the screen. Imagine this. You're texting someone new. It's flirty, fun, effortless. But instead of keeping it in that safe bubble forever, you invite real connection. Maybe you suggest a voice call, then a coffee date. You share something true about yourself, a fear, a hope, a small piece of your story, and they respond with their own. Slowly, a bridge forms. Not the instant rush of likes or DMs, but the quiet magic of two people seeing each other beyond the filters. That's where real love lives, and no app can manufacture it. So if you've been feeling disconnected, if you've been chasing likes but craving love, remember, the path to connection starts with how you show up. Not as an edited avatar, not as a polished brand, but as a messy, brave human willing to be seen. If this conversation resonated with you, make sure to subscribe to Decode Love for more deep dives into the psychology of modern relationships. Together, we're going to keep unpacking how to love in a world that's constantly changing, and how to find connection that lasts beyond the swipe. Your heart deserves more than pixels. Give it the chance to connect, fully, deeply, and bravely, because real love is worth stepping out of the digital fog.